And it says we're live.
Uh-huh. I don't see the screen vibrating from the shivering, so I have my doubts. All right. If you would like to keep the heat on, donate here. co-feed.com, the blanket fort. It's supposed to be a low of 1 on Sunday, so 1 degree Fahrenheit. So if we need the heat on.
Yeah. But we do not have the insulation.
No. Like coffee, and you're going to need coffee in the next couple of days. King Harvest Imperial Coffees. Great people, good coffee.
As long as the power stays
As
on.
long as the power stays on. Here, electric kettle. The power goes on. I'm going to be pissed. Mona Lee's Tees for all your smart Ellis sassy t-shirt needs. King Harvest and Among the Leaves are friends of ours. If you order from them, be sure you remind them or tell them that you heard about it from us.
Yeah, Jesse.
Has anybody noticing that here in Texas that the January record lows keep getting lower and lower every year?
Yeah, so much for climate change.
Climate's changing, all right.
Yeah.
We're looking at a low of either 1 degree Fahrenheit or 0 Fahrenheit. Last year, the low was 10, 12.
Yeah.
Year that record. Year before that, it was 19.
Yeah.
Every year it just gets lower and lower and lower. We're not set up for this crap.
Bill, we are watching with bated breath as the forecast changes pretty much on an hourly basis.
Up and down and up and down and up and down.
It depends on who you look at for the forecast, too.
Well, on the average, I have two. I have Google Weather and I've got AccuWeather, and I average them. And Tuesday, when we were doing this, the low was supposed to be 6.
Yeah.
Averaged out to 6. Then the Wednesday, low averaged out. It had gone up. The low had gone up to 12.
Yeah.
And now it's back down to 2.
Yeah. And I use weather.com, which is based off of NOAA, supposedly. And they're showing 0 as the low. I have dug out my polar gear that I had, and I'm letting it air out just in case. And we normally start a minute or two early, Sarah.
Yeah, make sure everything spins up because it's time to restart it when YouTube sticks in our ear.
Yeah. And, the other thing that's bothering both of us is the people that are saying, oh, well, I've got, gas heat, so I don't have to worry about it. If your electricity goes out, your gas is going to shut off.
If you have a modern furnace, by modern, I say last 10 years or so, a modern furnace, the pilot light's electrical. If electricity goes out, the furnace will shut off because you can't relight the pilot light, and it won't run gas if the pilot light, because it doesn't want to gas you, obviously. So if you have a modern furnace, last 10 years, maybe 15 years, and the power goes out, your furnace goes off.
Yeah, Jesse, we're supposed to get the winter mix too. So a rain, ice, and snow mix is what they are predicting. Well, what's interesting is to look at the NOAA weather patterns and watch them move up and down.
Yeah.
And it's all dependent on where the jet stream goes Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, Jesse, that's a good point. If you have a passive gas heater, you're boned. Now,
if you've got a passive gas heater, you're okay. But
yeah,
nobody around here has a passive gas heater.
Yeah. The other thing to think about is these people that are saying, oh, well, I've got a kerosene heater. If you have a kerosene heater, do not use it in an enclosed space.
Vent it to the outside. Carbon monoxide will kill you dead.
Yes. Now, some of the propane heaters are made for use inside, the small ones, not the big ones.
And also, got a lot of folks around here that moved here from up north.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how Texans can't drive in snow, and they're right, we can't. But I'm here to tell you, if you're used to driving in Minnesota or Michigan or New York It's different in Texas. It is. One, in Michigan, Minnesota, New York, those upper cryogenica, the road crews are used to dealing with ice. They will properly treat the roads. In Texas, we're not.
Yeah.
Our roads aren't properly treated. The only thing TxDOT does when it freezes is turn them into skating rinks.
Yeah.
Just because you can drive just fine in upper cryogenica does not mean you can drive just fine down here in Texas. And that doesn't include the Texans who can't drive on ice anyway.
Yeah. Did you see Kat's Facebook post about
No.
salting the roads using barbecue rub? Gotta love that girl. Oh,
yeah, I've got to drive into work at 6 a.m. Saturday and 6 a.m. Sunday. Not happy.
you may drive into work Saturday and not come home until Monday.
No kidding.
Upper cryogenica, yeah. Well,
You're welcome. I'm brain squirrels.
that's pretty much what you've got up there. Yeah, Greg, four-wheel drive does not
Equal four-wheel stop.
equal four-wheel stop. You know, that's the other thing. It's all contact patch. How big is your contact patch for your tires? Is it that big? Is it that big? You know, if it's a snow tire, which I don't think you can even buy them down here.
You can, but they're like $1,000 a
Yeah.
tire.
Snow tires have steel cleats in them.
Oh, those? No, you can't get those.
Yeah. Now, the other so-called snow tires are cleated, but cleated with rubber.
Mm-hmm. They're expensive. You
That-
can get those, but they're expensive.
They are expensive. B, they give you a marginally better grip on ice, marginally better.
But we don't have ice long enough to make them worth the cost.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
The problem is that these people will go out and buy these things and then think because they put them on their Subaru, they can go anywhere they want to, anytime they want to. Well, I hate to tell you this, folks, but it don't friggin' work that way. Contact patch is contact patch.
Not only that, but snow tires are loud. If you're not on snow, if you're on a highway, they are loud, and their controls not as good as standard road tires. So people put the expensive snow tires, get a crappy highway 75. Yeah. They're noisy, they're crappy, but well, I'll put them on for a day and then I'll take them off and hang them in the garage.
Yeah,
whatever.
And they'll end up with falling apart on them next 2 or 3 years down the road when they stick them back on again.
The vibration of a snow tire at 75 miles an hour will start working the nuts, bolts, and screws in your car loose.
Yeah, Mike, you're a day late, dollar short, but you're also right.
Yeah.
Four-wheel dive does not mean four-wheel stop. Yeah. Yep. Snow-rated tires, it depends on what brand you get.
How much did you pay for your Falcon Wild Peak, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, Kathleen, that's very true. So many people don't know how to drive.
They don't. Or they know how to drive in their state where like I said, the state DOT knows how to deal with ice and snow. We don't.
Yeah.
Our TxDOT, every year, they forget. It's like, holy shit, what's all this white shit?
Yeah. We have better response locally from the farmers that bring out their tractors.
Yeah.
And they're laughing because they get to do something. They get to play with their tractor. Anyway.
So $1,200 a set. That's 2 paychecks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a couple of paychecks.
Anywho, on to more.
Yeah.
On to more. Good thing Mike's on here. Mike and I were having a discussion about a church in Minnesota.
Yeah. And the FBI has stepped in.
FBI, apparently Pam Bondi may actually be getting some perp walks.
Yep, arrested 2 of them so far. Nakima Levy Armstrong, who was an organizer and
Rico.
Chantel Allen.
A member of the school board.
What a friggin' surprise.
Mike and I were talking about this earlier, and I do not understand the freezing. I cannot understand the freezing. I don't know that I've ever frozen. I suppose I must have once, but I've been taught since I was wee, do something. It may not be the right thing, but doing something breaks the panic.
Yeah.
And you can change to the right thing. Just do something. I'm looking at I'm watching the videos, and I shouldn't because it enrages me. All these frozen men in the audience.
Yeah, they
It's two choices. There's two. One, you hand the sprog to your wife. You say, "Honey, follow me," and out the side door, and you stomp a mud hole in anybody that gets in your way. Or you say, "Honey, take the sprog," and you go grab the first one with a megaphone. You beat them to death with it. Don't just stand there like sheep.
Yeah. That's like that guy that was on the video with the American flag, where the guy with the megaphone kept coming up and sticking it in his ear. That lasted for about 45 seconds, and he took that guy down. And then when the guy went after him, after he beat him down, he got him with a nice left cross.
Good. Do not. I've got.
And then went after the second guy that came after him, beat his ass down, because that guy had had enough. And he was obviously ex-military.
I've got hearing damage as it is. And it's not that hearing damage makes things harder to hear. It does. But also makes you more sensitive to loud noises. I realize it sounds weird. But a foghorn or a megaphone too close to me, it hurts. It hurts a lot more than it hurts somebody that doesn't have hearing damage.
Drives the tendonitis nuts too.
So there was a kid about 15, 18 years ago, a kid running around having fun with a megaphone and the little toy megaphone, and it had a siren in it, and the parents weren't doing it. And I was sitting eating a barbecue sandwich, and little shit came behind me and tripped the siren function, and I slapped that toy megaphone out of his hand. And I didn't do it on purpose. I whipped around and slapped the crap out of him. Not him. I slapped it out of his. Don't. And Mike and I were talking. You can say, we're not terrorizing anybody all you want. The law doesn't read your intent. The law reads the perception. I'm looking at all these terrified children in the audience. Guess what?
They're terrified.
You have terrified someone. We're not terrified. Yes, you are. It's right there. It's not you. The penal code doesn't ask if you're intended to do it. The penal code asks, were they terrified?
You have scarred those children. Bottom line. The other thing, speaking of noise, the American Heart Association, bless their hearts, has added yet another song to the CPR playlist. Bless you.
Yeah.
They have added Pearl Jam. Now has a song on the playlist for keeping people alive with CPR, which, by the way, if you are counting, now puts it at over 200 songs that you can find that are the proper beat for CPR.
Staying alive. Just go with staying alive. It's staying alive is catchy. Everybody knows it, and it's mnemonically accurate.
Another one bites the dust is still a favorite. Yes.
Staying alive is just a little bit. Staying alive.
Yeah. You want to be between 103 and about 120 beats.
I think it's 105 to 110 is but who knows?
Yeah, it depends. It varies. The CPR charts were always perfect. Yeah, it would be if you were a drummer. Uh,
But
yeah, that's the problem is, if you're sitting there trying to run through your
your playlist,
playlist in your head going, let me see.
just find one and stick with
Yeah.
it. And it's staying alive. Everybody knows it. Even the kids with the in diapers, the egg yolk behind the ears, they know staying alive.
Yeah.
Damn Bee Gees.
Yeah, just I can't pull my underwear up that tight to get that high.
Damn Bee Gees.
But I got to give credit to American Heart Association. They're trying.
They're at least they're doing something.
Yeah.
As we said as earlier, do something. Don't
Yeah.
just sit there with your thumb up your bum.
Yeah. In other news, Alma Boykin has yet another novella out.
That girl, holy crap.
Yeah, called Hunter Trader, and it's a familiar origin story.
That girl is prolific.
She is prolific, and does that in addition to a full-time job.
Yeah.
Plus a number of issues. Bring back jive talking. No, Jeff.
Have you heard the kids?
Yeah.
Slap a kid. The fuck. And I realize that the 80s slang drove my mother nuts. But she could figure it out. There's no context for what the little shits are saying these days. I can't figure it out. There's no context. What is it? 7-2, 7-6?
6-7.
6-7?
There's absolutely no meaning.
But I need the context.
There is no context to it. That's the point.
It drives me nuts. It's language. There should always be context.
Yeah.
It's gonna be language. There should be context to it.
Well, if you really want to screw with them, just look at them and go 25 or 64.
Context.
Or 8765309.
8675309.
Yeah.
Everybody does know that if you're at a pump and it asks for a membership number for cents off your gasoline, you can put your area code plus 8675309 and the area code, and it'll come up with your membership ID. Yeah, if you ever go to a pump and once you put your member ID or whatever, your local area code plus 8675309. Somebody has done it all across probably the world.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing with Australia has really taken the 6-7 to heart. So apparently any address that has 6-7 in it as a sequence is now going for unbelievable prices because it's considered good luck.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's Australia.
It ain't good luck. You're living in Australia. I don't know what to tell you. You ain't got good luck.
When everything there is trying to kill you, including the animals and the plants.
The weather, the animals, the plants, your government.
Yeah. Same size as the United States with 1/10 of the population, and they all live on the coast.
And their government, never mind. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be calm today. I'm calm.
Oh, Kermit, that sucks. But yeah, once you start CPR, depending on what state you're in, you're legally required to continue it until relieved.
Or declared.
Yeah.
Had some guy, some dumbass decided to indulge in unlicensed recreational pharmaceuticals and wound up bare ass naked on US 287 at 0400 hours in the morning, dancing in the quick lane, and intercepted a Subaru. The mother driving and the Sprague in the front seat. That was anyway. We get there. Sheriff's office gets there. Volunteer fire department gets there. We're doing CPR on this guy. He's been hit by a Subaru at 75 miles an hour. We were doing CPR. Yay.
Because he hadn't been pronounced.
Well, the paramedics show up and they open his mouth to run an ET tube, and it said there's brain tissue.
Yeah.
So I call JP. JP comes out there in his bathrobe and says, does anybody got a pulse? And my idiot rookie says, I've got a pulse. I said, no, you don't. He said, but I've got a pulse. JP says, well, I can't pronounce. The paramedics had to load him up, take him 90 minutes into Amarillo on a guy with brain tissue sliding back of his throat because my rookie was a moron.
Yeah, Rick, flail chest is very squishy to perform CPR on. If you're doing CPR right, especially on an adult, you're going to break ribs. You're going to break the sternum.
Bill is giving me shit in the comments.
I know.
Bill is giving me shit in the comments. I've got to get up there. I want to run that simulator.
But if you're doing it right, you're going to break ribs.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a fact of life. But the thing to remember is that breaking ribs is a lot better than letting them die. So do not be afraid to press hard. We did have one when I was working volunteer fire rescue back in the 70s. Kid struck by lightning on a baseball field. And it's a really sad story because his dad was a hospital corpsman.
Oh, dude.
And his dad was there. And they called the kids off the field. And his son was coming in from right field and just kind of lollygagging. And he got nailed about the third baseline. We got there. They've been doing CPR on him for probably 5 or 10 minutes. And I want to relieve the guy that was doing CPR. And I pressed down. It was like pressing on his table.
Oh.
That kid was so locked up. And I only weighed about 170 pounds back then. And I was putting my full weight on to get about 1/4 of an inch compression. Well, his dad would never let anybody pronounce him. Now, they took him to the hospital. They put him on EEG. The kid was brain dead. The father would not let him pronounce him. Brought him home. For over a year, the father took care of that kid. Cost him his marriage, cost him his house, cost him his military career. And the son finally died.
Son had been dead for a while.
Well, yeah. Well, physically died.
Decoded.
And the corpsman lost him. And he ended up in psych ward. There is no way that kid should not have been pronounced the first day. But that's what you deal with sometimes on the rescue.
Wally asked earlier upstream, how is there pulse with brain? There wasn't. My rookie I don't know whether
he probably felt his own thumb.
He felt his own thumb, or he one of these, and God bless him, romantics that we never give up. Well, that'll get beaten out of you in a couple of years, law enforcement.
Yeah.
But he swore he felt a pulse, and he didn't, because I was on the other side. I had tried radial artery, brachial or carotid artery. There was no pulse on that guy. He was DRT.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of hard to get a pulse when the physical separation of the body parts occurs.
Well, that's an EMT in Texas can pronounce with major separation of parts.
Yeah.
Dependent lividity, which is when the blood pools, and it's very, very distinctive pattern. And decay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's again the Kermit. People will do the strange things to themselves. Anyway, there are a lot of things that happen. There are always ways to work within the structure. And the other thing to remember, and that's a good point, you have to call a coroner for a declaration.
We don't have coroners in Texas.
Yeah, the JP in Texas can be the
Is the only person that doctors and JPs are the ones to declare
Yeah.
in Texas.
and JPs by and large do not have any medical training.
They go through a baby JP class, just the peace class.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to give them the,
40 hours, I think.
I don't know if that, maybe, I don't know. And they go to a baby JP, which is supposed to cover everything that JP does. JP, just the peace in Texas, does a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a lawyer. You don't have to have, matter of fact, some of the best JPs have never been a lawyer in their lives, the best JPs ever worked with. But they do a hell of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And a 40-hour baby JP course, I'm sorry, I don't think is sufficient for everything those folks got to do.
It's not. But there again, it's, what's the continuing education credits that they have to get?
Mm.
You want to piss off a nurse or a doctor, ask them about CE credits. Or anybody that has a professional certification.
Well, JPs are elected, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as they're elected, they don't have to have any credits. They're elected. They don't have to go to any training they don't want to. They're fucking elected. You can't unelect them. What are you going to do? Tell them they can't do what they're elected to do because they didn't take your idiot course?
Yeah. Yeah, coroners are a different breed. PMPs are another one. The number of certifications anymore that people have to have a job are just friggin' amazing. I mean, you see people with a business card that's got 19 different friggin' initials after it for all their qualifications. What does it mean?
Johnny, Texas, the precinct constable is the oldest peace officer position in Texas.
Yeah.
And if you have a JP, you have an elected constable. And a lot of the constables have deputy constables.
Yeah.
They are full peace officers in the state of Texas. You have a few. We're overrun with constables.
And constables are in most states law enforcement. They are
in
certified.
Texas. They are in Texas. They got to go through the academy and everything.
Yep.
Matter of fact, there's some things only constables can do. Well, officially.
Yeah.
The Rangers tend to get around that, but.
Yeah, Bill, half the time it doesn't mean anything other than they're an idiot. Or they can pass a continuing education course and somebody documents it correctly.
Like I said, some of the best JPs I've ever worked with never touched a law book in their lives.
Yeah.
And they sit a JP, they pronounce, they marry, they perform marriage ceremonies, they any traffic court.
Yeah, miscellaneous court.
Class C court. Any civil case, I think less than $4,000 or $5,000, depending on what the legislature's done this year. They have jurisdiction on civil courts of less than X amount of dollars, and they don't have to have law degrees.
Yeah, Wally. I can believe Michelle having over 50 hardware certs for Dell alone.
Greg, peace officer jurisdiction in Texas, people don't understand. It's not just constables. If you have a peace officer certification and you are working as a peace officer in Texas, your jurisdiction
is the state of Texas.
Is border to border. Now, a lot of them don't like to do it, but your jurisdiction, if you're a deputy sheriff, a city cop, a city marshal, a precinct constable, your jurisdiction is border to border. Texas scares a lot of out-of-state folks. We do things weird here.
Yeah. Yeah, Rick, the number of checks in the block, and I use that term loosely, that are now required are just absolutely amazing. And they mean effectively nothing in the reality of the world.
John, about school cops, that's going to depend. If it's a school resource officer who's actually, there's an actual credential department, yes. Most of your school resource officers are either going to be an actual credentialed department inside the school district or on loan from the sheriff's office.
County man can't pursue behind the country line. Bullshit.
Oops.
Yeah.
26 years. Oopsie. I've chased people into New Mexico and Oklahoma, for God's sake.
Yeah.
And when I got them, I got one guy in Kansas. I dragged his ass back across 2 state lines.
Yeah.
YouTube myth. There are a lot of YouTube myths.
Yeah.
Around law enforcement. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that also applies to other things like computers and certifications and
That's the thing. That's one of the many things that I love about living or working in the Panhandle. Well, I chased one dumbass up the Panhandle, through the hinterlands of Oklahoma, and into the hinterlands of Kansas. Snagged his ass. Got an inner city. Called the local agency. They came out and went, "Yep, that's a bad guy," and I took his ass back to Texas.
yeah.
If you make it home, they can't arrest you. That was always fun.
Yeah. 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 Rick, Cisco is the one that started that because Cisco would charge for classes. And that was how they made quite a bit of their money. I don't know how many people realize it, but Cisco was basically funded by the federal government. They did a lot of the development because they came out of not Lincoln Labs, Livermore. They did a lot of development on what is the current internet and the switching matrix used. So they literally got paid by the government to develop their Cisco switches. Well, one of the other streams that they realized they could do was training. So they started coming up with all these certs. And yes, Cisco has a shit ton of them, basically for every switch matrix they build. Well, a few years ago, the government, under Trump the first time around, went, why are we still paying Cisco to develop shit? So they cut the money off. Well, that was about the time.
Wrong Cisco.
Yeah.
In my head, there's 2 Ciscos.
Yeah.
There's SYSCO, which is the food company.
Yeah.
I was getting really confused. And then there's CISCO,
yeah,
which what y'all are, okay.
Yeah. So Cisco all of a sudden stopped doing R&D because it wasn't getting paid for by the government. So it cut into their profit if they actually had to do R&D. Now, Rick, I've known some Cisco certified internet engineers. And yeah, that was pre-Dell. Johnny, that's an excellent point. ISO 9000, 9001, 9006, whatever flavor you want, Six Sigma,
talking earlier about hot pursuit. I hot pursued some guy up Highway 70 onto his front porch, through his front door, out the back door, and into the at the hayloft of his barn out back. With him screaming, "You can't go on my front porch," every step of the way.
Yeah, the number of ISO 9000 series gets really interesting when you start working with various organizations, because some of them, like Hughes back in the day, was 9001 because they had gotten in on the start of it. So they got all the certifications for the company and for all the engineers. Yeah, that's another good one. Novell back in the day. So we were out there working a project, Navy project at Hughes Aircraft. Figured that one out. Well, they start coming around and going, okay, who's certified, yada, yada, yada. Well, I'm sitting there as an APM system program manager on it out of DC, basically TAD to the lab. So one of their certifiers comes in and goes, well, what's your certification? I have, I'm, die wheel level 3 program manager. I'm die wheel level 3 TAC D&E and telemetry. Oh, well, we don't recognize those, so you can't work in the lab. Okay. So I said, so what do you need me to do? Oh, well, until you're 9001 certified, you're not allowed in the lab. I said, so you're telling me that as the assistant program manager for this program that hires over 100 programmers that work here that I'm supposed to oversee, I'm not allowed in the lab to oversee them. And she looks at me and sniffs and goes, well, that's correct. It's okay. I got him walked out. Went out to my car, grabbed my bat phone out of the car. I called the program manager in DC, told him what was going on. About 15 minutes later, I get the Hughes on-site manager comes running out the door, runs over to my car and goes, it's fixed. It's fixed. You can come back in now. And I looked at him and I said, according to her, I can't because I'm not 9001 certified. He said, no. It's fixed. It's fixed. I looked at him and I said, well, Arlen, how did you fix it? We fired her.
That's a fix.
Huh?
That's a fix.
Yeah. And I looked at him. I kind of cocked my head. I said, you fired her? He said, your boss called our boss, the big boss, and said, if you're not back in the building today, we lose the program. She's fired. Okay. Never got another question.
Yeah, they were scared to death to ask questions.
Yeah.
Speaking of scared to death, I have a favor to ask. We are attempting to bend the Twitter algorithm to our
Oh, yes.
yes. So the Raptor Press Twitter account at 8 o'clock every morning, 8 o'clock Central Time, will have a post. I need everybody that can between 8 and 8:30 to find the Raptor Press Twitter account, like the current post, and make a comment. Anything, just make a comment. We are doing an experiment to see if we can bend the algorithm to our will. I'm gonna put this on all my social media, but yes, we are gonna make Al Gore dance. So between 8 and 8:30, if you can't do it between 8 and 8:30, anytime will be fine. Richard Hopkins, anytime will be fine. But if you can get on between 8 and 8:30, that seems to be the first 30 minutes after a Twitter post, seems to be the golden period for influencing the algorithm.
Yes, Sarah. Anytime.
Yes, Tuvala, you can just comment. Matter of fact, the smart assier, the better, probably. Johnny, you do not have to join Twitter, but if you know folks who are, would you ask them to do it? We're going to see if we can. We're going to see if we can bend that algorithm. So between 8 and 8, we'll do that. Right now, we're looking at the 30 minutes after the post. 30 minutes after the post goes live, we're looking at it'll be the plasma pulp post is the one we're using for testbed. Should be the first 30 minutes after it goes live, and after that, the algorithm doesn't seem to care as much. So tell all your friends. I'm going to put it all on my social media, Facebook and Substack. See, I get as many people as possible.
Raconteur Press, Doug.
Yep. It's the Raconteur Press. I'll find it and I'll put it on my Facebook, all my Facebook feeds and my Substack feeds. Because people have been griping that nobody writes boys' books anymore.
Yeah.
We've seen the griping. I heard the griping, trust me. So I fixed it. We are writing and publishing boys' books. And nobody's buying them. So I'm hoping they're not buying them. The only reason they're not buying boys' books is they don't know about it. Because otherwise I'll get annoyed. But we heard the griping. We've done something about it. Now we need help. We need to get more eyes because, folks, if you're griping about not having boys' books and we're providing them and then nobody's buying them, I can't keep publishing them.
Yeah, Plasma Pup 2 is out. Yes.
Yeah, that's the one we're going to do we're use for test bed. And quite honestly, if you can keep doing that at 8 o'clock every morning, set an alarm. 8:15 every morning, like and comment on whatever Raconteur Press has up that day. Let's see if we can, because I like boys' books. I like publishing boys' books. We need to start selling some.
Writers like to get paid, folks.
Yeah, writers got to get paid.
There are a shit ton of books out there. Most folks that I see commenting are adding books to their to be read piles. That is something that helps everybody. But you got to read the friggin' book at some point. And if you do, please leave an honest review.
Well, just buy the books. People are yelling for boys' books. Okay, but it's hard to keep publishing boys' books if I can't get them sold.
Jeff, that may be a good point. Using traditional channels is not effective. But what's the
other channels? What other channels?
Yeah. Word of mouth only goes so far. And trust me, word of mouth runs out after a while.
But you can buy them off Amazon. It's just that nobody. I'm hoping nobody knows about them. I got 400,000 people bitching about boys' books and not buying them, who know about them.
Well, I think one of the problems is they're really not listed through Rack Press per se. They're listed under the individual author.
No, they're listed under Rack Press.
I don't think so.
Could be.
I don't think so. We can find out. Because normally when I go get a copy, I just go to the author's name and go from there. Whoops. All right, Raconteur Press.
There's the latest.
Yeah. Okay. Last time I looked at it, they were not showing up there.
All right.
All right. G. Scott Huggins' book is up. Through the Spyglass Darkly.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And it's got a killer cover.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. Okay. I will apologize for that because I was wrong.
Apologize. I need to know these things.
Yeah.
I need to know these things.
Facebook ads.
We're working on that. Amazon ads, Facebook ads are in the pipeline, but we've got to be. The juice has got to be worth the squeeze.
Copy it all, Jeff. The problem with Facebook ads, just like the Amazon ads, is you're competing against big boys with a unlimited ad budget.
You know, with a big budget.
I went a couple of years ago through the whole Facebook or Amazon ad thing. You know, got the lesson plan from the guy that, you know, this is the way to beat the system. And tried what he said. And I looked at who I was competing against. I was competing against Ford, Coca-Cola, Chevrolet, Dodge, Chrysler, whatever their flavor of the week was, AT&T, and somebody else for ad space. And you know, they talk about the whole thing with click-through rates and, you know, what's your purchase rate per click-through? Well, I was getting less than 10% click-through. I was getting less than 1% buy-through. And it was still costing me about $30 a month. That may not seem like a lot, but I was paying, you know, a set price per ad for clicks, which is what you have to do with Amazon. Well, I got to talking to some people back channel, and I found out that most of the big players pay anywhere from 50 cents to $1 per click to get those ads. So guess where I fell on the priority list? I'm way the hell down at the bottom.
Jeff says live events is where you usually got the younger buyer. We have actually canceled Kansas City. We've spent 2 years going to Kansas City Comic-Con and trying to snag younger authors. And Kansas City Comic-Con's not inexpensive for a booth. It ain't cheap. And we didn't.
And they just went no AI this year.
Yeah, we're out because they've decided they've gone full Puritan and no AI nothing.
Yeah.
Including book covers. So we wouldn't be allowed to have a booth anyway. But it wasn't for what we paid, wasn't worth it.
Yeah, Greg, we do the same thing up here.
Mm-hmm.
We give the local libraries hard copies. And that's gotten me probably, in 10 years, probably 250, 300 books sold. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Because that's free advertising. That little local library helps. It gets your name in front of the local people. So but you know, I personally don't have, and I know Rack Press doesn't have, the amount of money it takes to do a real publishing campaign. I mean, you're talking tens of thousands of dollars. And somebody that does it every day, all day, that's their job. Yeah. Robert, that's a good point. The anti-AI zealots are just as tiresome as the pro-AI zealots. Yeah. You know, and that gets into the whole AI thing in a nutshell. You know, getting the good stories out there. You know, Rack Press is working hard to do that.
And right now we're stalled. And by stalled, I mean our volume sales isn't going up. We're selling to the same people over and over again, which, don't get me wrong, is great. We've got probably about 100 to 500 people that buy everything we put out. That's great. I need several thousand.
Greg, I'm not sure that you would get the cooperation out of people like Canon.
Greg, you going to be at FinCon? If so, we'll talk.
Yeah.
Not gonna talk in a public
Yeah.
about that sort of thing. But you be a FinCon, we'll talk.
Yeah, that's a good point, Rick. Wannabe artists who claim their lack of sales because of AI. AI is nothing more than a large learning module, which is an algorithm. It's not going to do anything that you don't tell it to do. It's very specific. It has very specific requirements. And it depends on how the AI is trained and by whom.
Oh, Greg, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, that's a rant for another time. It's just like the whole thing with Grok and how I think that's the one that Musk has.
Yeah.
Grok was, putting up AI of nude girls. No, it wasn't.
Did I miss something?
Oh, this was supposedly in Europe. This is why,
No.
Musk is getting sued over there. So
He's getting sued because it's Musk.
yeah, he said, okay, prove it. Show me the pictures. Every picture that they showed was not Grok.
Oopsie.
Yeah. So this is what you run into. It's attributed to somebody. I mean, we all know what Cedar went through a couple of years ago with the Dragon Awards.
Yeah.
That was because she had an excellent cover.
It's a kick-ass cover. Cedar does good covers.
Her competition didn't like the fact that she had a good cover. Neither did certain people at DragonCon in certain programming.
AI has the AI is ick is the ick.
Yeah.
That's what got Cedar was knee jerk AI is the ick.
Yeah. Yeah, Rick, that's the bottom line. LLMs respond to user prompts. They always have, they always will. Go ahead.
Speaking of Grok, everybody following the whole Abelia thing in England?
Oh, frick, yes. That is hilarious.
Okay.
The media's over here now.
Yes. Okay, we're going to get there. All right. But a couple years ago, the British government, in their infinite nanny wisdom, had this choose your own path computer adventure called Pathways, I think.
Yeah.
And what it was to teach boys between the ages of 11 and 18 not to be right wing.
Yeah, far right.
Yeah, period, right wing.
Yeah.
Not to be conservative. And as you go through, you interact. And one of the characters you interact with was waifu Amelia or Amelia waifu. Anyway, who was alt-right anti-immigration and supposed to drive young boys away from, and she was cute. She is cute. So they were taking boys aged 11 to 18 and saying this gorgeous little purple-haired girl sexy girl does not want you to be alt-right.
Yeah. Short skirt, cleavage,
short skirt, pretty.
Yeah.
So somebody took all of the Abelia scenes from Pathways, ran them through Grok, and gave the instructions. Have Amelia say what she needs to say. And Current said she's pro-border, anti-illegal immigration. So Grok gave this glorious little short video that was a poster child for pro-British, anti-illegal immigration.
Yeah.
And it went nuts.
And now she's being put into
own goal, wham.
Yeah. Not only put into more ads in the UK, she's also migrated over here.
Yep.
And she has been appearing, quote unquote, in various, shall we say, far left situations where she comes in and goes, no, no, no.
Well, the glorious thing, the one I saw this morning, because Amelia gets to say things that nobody else does. Granted, it's pissing off the British government, but there's this one 4 panel with Amelia talking about how they're telling English that England isn't theirs, that they're colonizers.
Yeah.
And she says, well, English have been in England longer than the Maori have been in New Zealand, but we're not allowed to talk about that.
Yeah.
Ow. Or, yeah. Ow. Woohoo.
Craig, no, just no.
What?
Charmin needs bigger boobs to go with the Oktoberfest. Now, if she's going to be Oktoberfest, she needs bigger muscles.
And beer.
God.
But that's the greatest own goal I've seen in a.
Yeah.
It's glorious, and Grok is making it happen. Also, Grok is being used for, and it's propaganda, but I approve, on the whole Iranian Revolution thing.
Yep.
And by the way, Dora Daesh, they're skipping my 3-piece.
Yeah.
I ordered a 3-piece. Haven't got it yet.
Oh, they tried taking the game down and that didn't work at all. Yeah.
Nope. It is, but Amelia has a life of her own.
Yeah. Totally out of control. On servers all over the world.
Great. It's great.
Yeah. That does remind me, they're shit, and I just lost the train of thought on that malware. Anyway, there's new malware, which is actually old malware that's coming back.
And old is new again.
Yeah. What they're doing is adding in prompts after stuff down here in your tray.
No.
So it details a graphic, and there's a term for it, and I just lost it. Anyway, it'll put the graphic in your toolbar, and then it adds a string afterwards, which is malware. And because it recognizes the graphic, it ignores
the malware folder.
The malware, which then takes over your computer. Yes, Starmer.
Starmer.
No, it's not injection. Damn it. I had it and lost it. I'm getting old. What can I say? You can't keep canceling elections. They may run out of steam on that. The other one that I like was Amelia's pushback on the mayor of London.
Amelia's been pushing back on a lot of stuff.
I've only seen that particular one once.
Really?
Yeah. It kind of disappeared. Greg, we used to call them void links. I don't know what it's a different term today.
Anyways, also piss off the mullahs, support the Iranian revolutions. Just to piss off the mullahs. Because if I can't get a 3-piece IRGC special, damn it. That post, by the way, I put it after I read it here. I went and did a condensed version on Facebook and my Substack. That one took off.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get it. Hopefully I get another fatwa out of it. Apparently a couple of my fatwas have expired, which I worked hard for those fatwas.
How did they expire?
Apparently they've expired.
Maybe why I don't have any problems lately.
I worked hard for those fatwas. Having them expire just pisses me off.
No comment.
I remember that one guy. I think the big one after I suggested, I did a post about flying over Mecca with a C-130 load of dead pigs.
Yeah.
And heaving them off the back deck while a kitten in a leather trench coat purred at me. I got a glorious fatwa. It was a snot slinging. It was snot slinging glory. I loved it. And it may have expired because he expired.
Yeah.
So
I got one because of the gray man.
Huh?
Goat loader is
Goat loader.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. Anyway, no, I kind of like to get a fatwa out of it if I can.
Yeah.
If I get a fatwa from Khomeini in Iran, I'll print that off and frame it, put it on my wall. I get a fatwa from that goat molester. That'll be pride of ownership, and pride of place in my.
That reminds me of the meme that I saw the other day of the ice guys hiding behind the dumpster with a goat tied up. It's 3 goats hunting over bait.
There is this comedian. I like him, and he has a issue with this. He looks like he might be half Asian, and he's got his. He went on a podcast with some Islamists, and he had a shawl of bacon, and people lost their mind. It was great.
Who's the guy, the ventriloquist that does Ahmed, the dead terrorist?
Jeff Dunham.
Jeff Dunham. He has got some real fatwas.
Oh yeah.
And to the point that certain places he has to have security.
Put it next to the leadership. Darn Skippy.
Yeah.
Put it right out there with the rest of my life achievement. Got a fatwa from the Ayatollah Khomeini. He needs to come serve it personally.
Yeah, Michael.
Ayatollah, that's a whole. Yeah.
I remember a number of bumper stickers that might have been on military vehicles in the fall of 91, early 92 in certain parts of the world that were rather provocative, to put it mildly.
I've got a certificate for an emotional sport honey badger on my wall. And if I can get the snot slinging, I will go to Tehran and have him sign it if I can get him.
Ah, yes. The Shah's nuts. Well, folks, we've wasted another hour of your time, and this one's going downhill fast.
Yeah, it is.
So we will sign off. And
fat was expired. That pisses me off. I worked hard for those things.
And we will hopefully see you on Tuesday.
Assuming that we have power.
Yeah, assuming we have power and we can get our heads above the snowbank.
I can get out of my driveway.
If you make it home.
Yeah, no kidding.
Seriously, folks, stay safe out there this weekend. Wherever you may be.
Make soup and stay in.
Yeah.
That's what tomorrow I'm firing up the slow cooker and I'm doing a pot of soup. Of stew or soup. I don't know, something stew-ish. And we're gonna use that a little extra heat to the kitchen and just walk by and scoop a bowl of soup up every what? Todd Caldwell at quadruple bypass? What the hell?
I knew he'd been having problems, but I thought they were doing an MRI. Maybe they found something on the MRI. And say a prayer for Todd if you would.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
And the last thing, folks, is check your friggin' tire pressures before it gets too cold. Remember, folks, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff, especially now.
Yeah,
if it's sweating,
right.
you got a problem.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Later, guys.